gotta beware of people who claim they know stuff, claim they said this, claim they said that. You gotta listen to me, I'm trying to help you guys out, but they have no proof of that, and they're just steering you down the wrong path. If it wasn't for my arch nemesis Bozo Beast, aka the obese beast, I don't think I'd have anyone to refer you to right now of what I'm talking about. Because the guys I subscribe to and stuff on YouTube, you know, we're all on the same page. We understand what's going on with the economy, the reason we want silver and gold, especially silver. So this clown, Bozo Beast, wrote, you know, I did my video the other day, and he's in there commenting about, when I did the video about 101% debt to GDP ratio and all that, I love this guy. Let me wait till I go home and see if he erased his message, but I went ahead and print screened this just to be safe. Here's his message 14 hours ago. Well, I read it hours ago, but you know, basically yesterday he wrote this. Silver spot price is down 40 cents so far from close of Tuesday. That was earlier today, so basically I don't know if he wrote this last night or, you know, early yesterday morning, whatever, but basically he wrote this for yesterday. Silver spot is down 40 cents so far from close of Tuesday. Therefore, he must be talking about Wednesday, because today's Wednesday. This little dollar gain we had Tuesday will not only be gone Wednesday, but we will lose an additional 45 cents. Watch and see. Wednesday close will be down $1.45 from Tuesday close. So naturally, it's pretty much closing time right now. And this is a black and white chart. Unfortunately, it's the standard Kitco chart. That's a blue one. I think that's the red or the green one, like, you know, today's, and this is yesterday's. I don't know if you can really tell. I should have printed this stupid thing in color. But here was yesterday. We had this nice big move, right? We had this nice dollar move. And then you look at here, and these two things are intersecting as I'm leaving my job right now at 5 o'clock. And currently, as I printed this just minutes ago, February 21st close, which was yesterday, was $34.35 for silver. Right now, and again, it's not closed just yet, but it's fixing to be. So, close enough that I can make this video with certainty that it's not going down $1. And it says, so far, end of day here, $34.29. So we are 6 cents down from yesterday at the same time ending, whatever. Bozo Beast, I've told you this numerous times, but I'll say it again. Step into my office. Why? Because you're freaking fired, that's why. You've been fired so many times by me, I can't fire you anymore. But again, as I said, if it wasn't for people like Bozo Beast and the mainstream media and the, quote, experts out, the economic advisors and experts, I wouldn't have anyone to prove that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and that I do. So, Bozo Beast, I want to, you know, I appreciate my arch nemesis Bozo Beast, because, hang on one second. Go back to the stop sign, go left, and it's like 500 feet on the right. So, anyways, you gotta do my little help. You know, people see the ex-police car, they think it's real, they think that, you know, they can just stop me and ask me stuff. Which, I help people, you know me. So, if it wasn't for my arch nemesis, Bozo Beast, I wouldn't have anyone to give you this example of people who actively go out there, pretend, I don't know if he's just deceitful, just plain stupid, or what the issue is, but he's wrong over and over and over and over and over again. The only thing he was right about was that we didn't see $50 silver, spot price silver, in 2011. And as I've said, we saw $43 after I made the bet with him 3 times. You add in the fee on top of that to get a Silver Eagle on top of $43, and you're at like $47. But $50 is $50, and that was the bet. So I did lose the bet. I had to give him his props on that. You know, Bozo Beast, oh, good job. He had like 10 fails. Finally got one right. You know, I mean, you got to give the guy props for that. You know, excellent track record there. So, speaking of, you know, these people who claim to know, you know, have the information and this and that, I've been watching this show on TV. I'm sure some of you have too. Every Tuesday night, called Doomsday Preppers. Again, Dave Sardi, D-Sardi1 on YouTube, was on there, and numerous other people. Nobody else I knew except for Dave, as far as YouTube goes. And every time, and including yesterday, I watched it last night again with the wife. We watched that show, and every single time they have someone on that show that says, oh, you know, my name is so-and-so and I'm prepping for such and such. And they're different reasons. But there have been multiple times within the shows, this has been on I think 3 times now, as far as the new show, you know, the new episodes, in which some episodes have 1 or 2 people on kind of on the same issue, which is economics, whether it be the dollar collapse, a dollar devaluation, a global financial problem, or an EMP that knocks out electricity, thus also causing the financial problem. And every single time they, National Geographic, which is the ones that do this show, our experts were asked, you know, about your situation. At the end, they give them like a little evaluation, and our experts think you need to have, you know, 500 more gallons of water, and you need to, you say you're against weapons and guns, but our experts suggest that you get familiar with guns and get some, because people, in a breakdown of society, people in your nice, new, loving neighborhood won't be so nice and new, etc. And a lot of times a person will have a say-so back and say, oh yeah, you're probably right, it's a good thing, and I agree with that. Or I don't agree with that, we're not going to have any guns, whatever. But every time someone said, I'm so-and-so and I'm prepping for economic collapse, dollar devaluation, anything remotely pointed in America's direction regarding economy, money, finances, etc., every single time the response by National Geographic, our economic experts advise us that when the overlooking or looking out 25 years out, there's no what was the word they use? They do not foresee any kind of economic turmoil or U.S. dollar problems whatsoever. Looking at 25 years, I thought they would say, oh well, maybe the next couple of years. For God's sakes, at least I could give them that. Maybe you don't see any economic problems in the next 2 years or something, even though it's already here and it's the writing's on the wall. But to come out and say over the next 25 years we don't foresee any issues. Our expert advisors don't see any issues. Really. So your expert economic advisors don't see a $16 trillion debt right now in America, and they probably didn't get a chance to see my video now because of course this show was recorded months ago, about our GDP ratio, debt to GDP ratio, is now over 100%. And if you look at the very recent numbers, it appears to be over 101% now. So anyways, these experts aren't experts at all. All the expert is doing is saying, well, we've been in, you know, the United States for 200 years now. Yeah, we had the Great Depression, but that was, you know, 80 years ago, whatever, 90 years ago, or about 80 years ago, technically. And since then, you know, we've never had a problem like this, therefore, there shouldn't be a problem. Even though our country's never been in debt the way we are now, even though the amount we're in debt, nothing comes close to us, and even though the revenue coming into the government, such as income tax and other fees, is lessening and lessening, is terrible, and of course unemployment's worse, therefore that affects that too. You mean, and, oh, let me throw this in there, and the United States, for the first time in the history of America, our credit rating was downgraded just last year, just a matter of weeks after Treasury Secretary Little Timmy Geithner said, quote, and pay attention closely, the United States is not, has not, and will never be, something like that, at risk of losing its credit rating. Okay, and let me explain why. Here's why. This bozo don't know what the hell he said. And in a matter of weeks, his face was punched, his lower jaw was punched loose. His jaw was punched loose by reality, and we got a downgrade. America's pristine AAA rated, credit rating has been downgraded. Listen, little Timmy Geithner, can you come back on the show? We want to do another interview. Nah, I'm a little busy right now. Oh, come on, I won't ask you about the credit rating. Actually, yes, I will. But I'll tell him that just to get him back on the show. Yeah, you know he's not coming back on for that interview. So even after we've got downgraded, the economic experts that National Geographic has sought, we don't see any problem in America over the next 25 years. This is so ridiculous, so absurd. It's such a lie. It's so bad. I mean, that, like I said, please, could they have just said 2 years? Just please, 2 years. We don't see any economic problems for 2 years. And I would agree and say, well, that's because they're going to print the hell out of some money, paper over all these holes in the sinking ship, so to speak, and then we'll have a massive, massive growth in our debt, national deficit. And of course, GDP to debt ratio will be skyrocketing way past 100 at that point as well, and a lot higher than it is now. But at least they might be able to keep the system together just a little bit longer. I would at least give them credit for that and saying, well, hey, I'm glad they said 2 years, but I'm wondering why they only said 2 years, because 2 years is a short amount of time. Why is there a outlook after that? Why didn't they mention that? And we would all know the reason why, because it's going to suck. But these bastards said 25 years. And these are economists. They actually ask the experts in the field, in the industry. It'd be like you asking me some kind of, technical database, whatever, IT question, and I answer it. Well, why are you asking Joe? Because he's an expert in that field. He knows what the hell he's doing. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, okay, he can give me the answer. That's why. If I have some kind of legal problem, I have a friend that's a lawyer. I'm going to go to him. Hey, and matter of fact, what is your particular practice as far as law? What do you specialize in? Oh, foreclosure fraud. Oh, perfect. I've got a question about my chain of title. See what I mean? You could go to the expert. But the rest of us are led to believe that these economists who went to all these prestigious schools, Princeton, Harvard, and Yale, as Gerald Celente says, bullets, bombs, and banks. These guys came from the top of the schools of America. This is fantastic. These are the experts, but the experts refuse to talk about the facts, the data, the numbers, etc. They skip over that and just say, oh, American strong dollar, spend, American dollar's fine, it's been that way forever, it'll remain that way, with nothing else to say, even though they know damn well it's in dire straits. So you have to ask, why do these men, mostly men, why do they say something that's a complete lie, and they knowingly lie? They knowingly read something or say something that they know is a lie and tell you that it's not, it's the truth, it's this and that. And here's why, and I've said this before. It is hard for a man to tell the truth when his paycheck, his job, depends upon him not telling the truth. Think about that. And that will answer your questions as to why do the experts say these things. That's why. So, I just want to share that with you about these people who claim to be experts, the media, scientists, global warming, only to find out that the scientists lied. It's all in the emails now. They lied. They skewed the data on purpose so they could get that money. It is hard for a man to tell the truth when his money, job, paycheck depends upon him not telling the truth. And that was discovered, it's been that way for a long time, but it was brought out into the public through the global warming BS data that we were all told was one thing, only to find out the scientists themselves and the political hacks and bozos who are pushing that whole thing, their emails to, basically telling them, we need you to change this data to match this chart. Can we do that a little bit? And then the scientists, well, okay, we'll change a few things. And then the conversations put out on the internet. And thus the, what was that thing called in 2009 or so Obama was supposed to go to, then again in 2010, I think, some kind of global climate summit where they were going to try to push out this carbon credit, carbon taxes on the nations. We've got to charge for carbon because we're global warming. It was a fraud. And because of that fraud got exposed on the internet, of course, it went away. Now they're still trying in certain states and little parts of other countries to get that whole carbon credit scam going. but it's not the whole world in all countries, thank God, because it was exposed. So Bozo Beast, I want to thank you for writing your nonsense comments on my page. It used to just be him private messaging me so no one else could see. But now he's actually, and he's been writing on my comments here and there. But to be so bold as to write that nonsense today, that we're going to see a $1.45 drop in silver today, Wednesday, by the close of day. And as I'm doing this video, silver's matching what yesterday's price was. Gold, on the other hand, was up $15 as I printed that. Not that that matters too much, but it's nearing $1,800 again. So you got to be careful who you listen to. You got to be careful. You got to do your due diligence. You have to do your research. You have to stick around and listen to what they say. Follow them for a little while before you start taking advice. Me too, if you just started subscribing to me, follow me for a while. At the same time, the beautiful thing of YouTube is that I've got whatever 500 and something videos now, whatever I'm at. Go back. You don't have to wait for me to talk about things I've already talked about. You can go back and find them through my old videos and say, oh, he was saying that 6 months ago. He was saying that a year ago. What's that? In 2010, when silver was $18, he did a video that said titled "Silver to Skyrocket Within 1 to 2 years max" or something like that in 2010. We saw $50 silver a year later in 2011. After I warned people when it was $18 at the time, it's going to be exploding soon. Would you call an $18 to $50 explosion pretty accurate? I would. The bottom line is, I really don't care about that. I don't care that I nailed it or whatever. What I care about is that the reasons I'm telling you these things is why they're happening, or you'll know why they're happening. So, I gotta run. Take care.